Smoke still rose from the broken walls of the alien city. The war had ended just a few hours ago. Human soldiers walked through the ruins, checking for any signs of life. Some searched for weapons, others looked for survivors. Among them was Jack Carter, a quiet but brave human soldier. Jack moved alone through the rubble. His boots crunched over glass and metal. His scanner beeped when something was under the collapsed roof of an alien building. It wasn't a weapon, not a mine, and not a soldier. It was alive. He followed the signal and dug with his hands. Piece by piece, he removed sharp stones and metal beams. After 10 minutes, he saw it a glowing cage made of crystal and alien metal. Inside the cage was a small alien girl, no older than a human child. She had bright purple eyes and silver hair that floated like it was underwater. Her body glowed faintly with a soft blue light. Jack froze. The girl looked at him, scared, but her lips moved. No sound came out. Then suddenly, Jack heard her voice, not with his ears, but inside his head. Please, ... don't let them find me. Took a step back, shocked. Telepathy. Was she reading his thoughts? She looked weak, like she had been trapped for days. Her small hands pressed against the inside of the cage. They'll boil me. They'll take my energy, she whispered. In his mind, please, help me. Jack's heart raced. He had seen strange things during this war. But this was different. This girl was not a soldier. She was not an enemy. She was innocent. Jack looked around. No one else was nearby. He checked the cage. There was a small lock, alien in design, but easy to break. Jack hesitated. What if she was dangerous? What if this was a trap? But then she looked into his eyes again. Okay? And this time, she cried. Not loud, just silent tears floating down her cheeks like stars falling. Jack broke the lock. The cage opened with a soft hiss. The air around the girl shimmered. She collapsed into his arms light as a feather and cold as ice. Her body was trembling. Jack picked her up carefully and hid her inside his jacket. He moved quickly through the ruined building, staying away from other soldiers. Back at the base, soldiers celebrated the victory. Music played. Lights flashed. No one noticed Jack slipping inside the storage room near the back wall. He locked the door from inside and placed the alien girl on an old blanket. She looked up at him. Thank you. Jack nodded. Who are you? I'm not from the warrior caste, she said. I'm from the energy caste. My kind. We shine. We give life. But your people, ... They take that light. They put us in machines. They boil us. Jack felt sick. He remembered rumors alien prisoners taken to secret labs. Glowing lights, energy bursts, screams. The military called it resource recovery. Why me? Jack asked. Why did you speak to me? 'Cause your mind is quiet, she replied. You listened. You didn't call me a weapon. Outside, a voice shouted over the base speakers. Attention, all soldiers. We have discovered a powerful alien life form. Special team will arrive soon to collect it. No one is to interfere. Jack's eyes widened. Did they already know about her? She sat up suddenly, grabbing his arm. Okay. Think I'm a weapon, but if they take me, I will die. I will burn everything. Jack stood up. He had a choice to make. Tell the truth and let her be taken, or land, risk his life protecting an alien. Footsteps echoed outside the storage room. Someone knocked on the door. Jack, you in there? He didn't answer. The girl looked at him again. This time her glow was fading. She was getting weaker. Please, I don't want to die. Jack clenched his fists. Whatever this was, it was just the beginning. The storage room was dark. Only a small light above flickered. Jack sat beside the alien girl, his heart pounding. Her soft blue glow had faded a little more. She was cold and weak. Her name was still a mystery to him. But her fear was clear. She was running from something far worse than death. "Are you sure they'll come for you?" Jack asked quietly. Girl nodded. "They always come. My kind are not prisoners. We are ... fuel." Jack looked at her, confused. She pointed to her chest. "We shine because our bodies create energy, pure energy. Your people use it for weapons, for ships, for everything. But to get it ... they boil us." Jack's stomach turned. The word boil echoed in his head. He had heard rumors before about alien labs where strange experiments happened. Soldiers talked about bright explosions during testing. Most didn't question it. They just followed orders. Jack wasn't like them. He had seen too much. The girl's body began to shake. Jack reached for his water bottle and helped her drink. She looked up with tired eyes. "My name is Lyra," she whispered. "I was taken before I escaped, but they will not let me go again." Suddenly, the base speakers buzzed. "All soldiers report to Bay 4. Alien subject located. Energy harvest team arriving in 30 minutes." Jack's hands turned cold. 30 minutes. They were moving fast. Maybe they knew she was nearby. Maybe someone had told them. He stood and locked the storage room door again. He had to hide her better. He looked around. An idea hit him. Jack pulled open the floor panel under a broken shelf. It led to an old maintenance tunnel, dusty, cold, and forgotten. He carried Lyra inside and hid her behind stacked boxes. He covered her with a thermal blanket and gave her a small torch. "Stay here," he whispered. "No matter what happens, don't make a sound." Lyra touched his hand weakly. "Thank you, Jack. You are not like the others." Jack forced a smile, then closed the panel. Outside, the base had changed. Soldiers stood in straight lines. Black transport ship landed quietly in Bay 4. Its doors opened, and 3 figures stepped out. They wore black suits with glowing red stripes. Energy harvesters. Jack had only seen them once before. They didn't speak much. They didn't salute. They just walked straight, cold and empty. They were not part of the army. They were part of something darker. One of them held a scanner. He turned to the commanding officer. "The energy signal is faint, but it's here. She's nearby." The officer gave a sharp nod. "Search every room, top to bottom." Jack's chest tightened. They were getting closer. He walked away, pretending to be busy, but his mind raced. He needed help. Someone who could keep a secret. Someone smart. He thought of me, the young medic who repaired machines and patched up soldiers. She believed in alien rights. She had argued with the officers before about unfair treatment. Maybe she could help. He rushed to the medical tent. Mia was alone, working on a wounded drone. "Jack?" she asked, surprised. "What's wrong?" He looked around, then leaned close. "I need you to trust me. I found someone, an alien girl. She's not dangerous." The harvesters. Mia's eyes widened. "You found an energy host?" Jack nodded. "They'll boil her. You know what that means?" Mia looked down, then stood. "Where is she?" They moved quickly. Back at the tunnel. Jack lifted the panel. Lyra was still there, shivering, but alive. Mia gasped softly. "She's just a kid." Lyra looked at her. "Are you ... safe?" Mia knelt and smiled gently. "Yes, I'm here to help." Suddenly, loud footsteps echoed nearby. A voice shouted, "Check this section." Jack froze. He looked at Mia. "We need to move her, now." Dead. Lyra carefully and slipped through the tunnel, led to the old shipyard abandoned and covered in dust. Jack used a stolen pass to unlock the back door. The place hadn't been touched in years. They laid Lyra on an old seat. Mia gave her a small shot, something to keep her stable. "This will help for a few hours." Lyra nodded slowly. Outside, the scanners were still searching. Jack turned to Mia. They'll find us, sooner or later. Mia took a deep breath. Then we don't wait. We fight back. We show the world what they're doing. Jack looked at Lyra, who smiled faintly. You both are ... light. Jack smiled back, but deep down, he knew the real fight was just beginning. The abandoned shipyard was quiet. Dust floated in the air like ghosts. Old machines stood broken, forgotten by time. In the corner, hidden behind a rusted control panel, lay Lyra, the alien girl. Her glow, soft and fading, Jack and Mia took turns watching over her. They had managed to escape the energy harvesters for now, but Jack knew it wouldn't last. The scanners were getting closer every hour. The base had been locked down. Every soldier was now searching for the energy source. Jack cleaned his rifle while Mia checked Lyra's pulse again. She needs more energy soon, Mia whispered, or she shut down. Jack looked at Lyra's pale face. He had never seen anything like her, so powerful, yet so fragile. We can't let them take her, he said. Mia nodded. Someone inside the system. Someone who can cover our tracks. Jack thought for a moment. Remembered someone, Corporal Duane. Duane had been Jack's closest friend during the war. Brave, loyal, and smart. Jack had saved his life once during a raid. If anyone would help, it was him. Jack left the shipyard and moved quietly through the dark path behind the storage crates. He reached the side barracks and knocked softly on the metal door. Duane opened it, surprised. Jack, what are you doing here? You know, there's a lockdown. Jack pulled him inside. I found her, Duane, the energy girl. But she's not a threat. She's just a kid. Duane's eyes widened. Are you serious? Jack nodded. She's scared. They want to boil her alive. That's not war. Man, that's murder. Duane paced back and forth. You're asking me to break every rule, every order. Jack looked at him. I'm asking you to be human. There was silence. Finally, Duane spoke. Okay, I'll help you. Relieved, Jack gave him the location of the shipyard. Come alone. No weapons, please. Duane promised. An hour later, Duane arrived at the shipyard. Mia checked him with a scanner to make sure he wasn't carrying a tracker. He walked up to Lyra slowly, kneeling beside her. She's glowing, he whispered. She's dying, Mia said. We need to move her to a safe place. Duane nodded. There's an old supply ship in the hangar, still functional. You can get the door codes. Jack smiled. Lads. Perfect. They started planning the escape, but unknown to them, Duane had already pressed a small button hidden inside his boot. A signal was sent silent, invisible straight to the harvesters. 30 minutes later, the shipyard lights flickered. What was that? Mia asked. Jack looked outside through a crack. 4 black-suited figures were walking in slowly. No, Jack whispered. They found us. Duane stepped back, his face suddenly cold. I'm sorry, Jack. I had to. If they knew I helped you, I'd be dead too. Jack's hands shook. You lied to me. Duane looked away. I didn't want to, but she's not one of us. Lyra sat up weakly. Atita, like they betrayed my people. Jack turned to Mia. Get her out, through the back exit. What about you? She asked. I'll hold them off. Mia grabbed Lyra and ran toward the tunnel exit. Jack faced Duane. We were brothers. We still are, Duane said, raising his hands. But this is bigger than us. Jack aimed his rifle. You're right. It is. The door exploded open. Harvesters stepped inside, weapons drawn. Jack opened fire. The room shook with noise. Sparks flew from the walls. One harvester fell. Jack took cover behind a metal crate, but they were too many. He kept firing, buying Mia and Lyra time. Meanwhile, Mia ran through the underground path, holding Lyra close. Stay with me, Lyra, Just a little more. Lyra's body was flickering, like a dying star. Jack, she whispered. He's not safe. He's strong, Mia said. He'll find us. Back in the shipyard, Jack had been shot in the arm. Blood ran down his sleeve. The harvesters surrounded him. Dwayne stepped forward. Where are they? He asked. Jack smiled weakly. Far from here, far from you. Dwayne punched him hard. You're a traitor. No, Jack replied. I'm human. The harvesters knocked him out and dragged him away. Far from the chaos, Mia and Lyra reached the edge of the forest. The old ship Dwayne mentioned stood ahead, but now they were on their own. Darkness covered the forest as Mia and Lyra reached the edge of the old airstrip. The sky above was cloudy, and only a few stars peeked through. In front of them stood an abandoned supply ship, hidden behind thick trees and vines. Its metal body was rusted, but the entry lights still blinked faintly just enough to give them hope. Lyra stumbled. Mia caught her before she fell. Hold on, Lyra. We're almost there. Lyra's skin was dim now, her glow barely visible. She looked like she was fading with each breath. Jack, ... She whispered. Mia blinked away a tear. He gave us time. We can't let that be for nothing. She guided Lyra toward the ship. The door scanner was dead, but Mia pulled out a small hacking tool she had taken from the medical bay. She connected it to the panel and started typing. Inside her mind, a countdown had already begun. They had to escape fast. Meanwhile, back at the military base, ... Jack sat in a cold metal cell. His hands were tied, and a large bruise marked his jaw. Blood dripped from a cut near his eye. The cell was silent, except for a buzzing light above. Dwayne stood outside the bars, arms crossed. Where are they going? He asked again. Jack looked up slowly, pain in his eyes, but also defiance. You already took everything. Isn't that enough? Dwayne sighed. This isn't personal, Jack. That girl isn't one of us. She's a resource. She's alive, Jack snapped. She feels, she begs, she cries. That's not a resource. That's a person. Dwayne said nothing. Deep inside, doubt started to grow in his heart. Before he could reply, one of the harvesters entered the room. She activated a signal. The harvester said, We tracked it to the old launch zone. They're trying to escape. Dwayne looked at Jack. You really think you can change anything? Jack smiled, even through the pain. Maybe not, but she can. Back at the ship, ... Mia finally cracked the door code. The old door opened with a loud hiss. She helped Lyra inside and closed it behind them. The ship smelled like dust and oil, but it still held power. Mia placed Lyra in a seat and connected her to a small medical battery. This should give you a little strength. Lyra looked at her weakly. I'm scared. Mia held her hand. You're not alone. Not anymore. Suddenly, red light blinked on the ship's console. Enemy signal detected. They were coming. Mia jumped to the controls and started the ignition sequence. The ship shook as old engines roared back to life. Outside, trees bent with the force of the exhaust. But before the ship could lift off, the enemy arrived. 4 black harvesters appeared on the field, weapons raised. With them was Dwayne. He gave a silent signal and they moved in. Inside the ship, the warning alarm screamed. Mia locked the doors. They're here, she shouted. Lyra stood, still weak, but her glow returned brighter than before. Her body pulsed with light. I won't go back, she said softly. The harvesters began cutting through the ship's door with plasma tools. Mia grabbed a laser pistol from the emergency kit. We'll fight. Lyra touched her shoulder. No, you need to protect the ship. Let me stop them. Before Mia could stop her, Lyra opened the inner bay door and walked into the entrance hallway, facing the attackers alone. The harvesters broke through. They pointed weapons at her, but she lifted her hand. Her glow exploded. Blinding light filled the hallway. The air shook. The harvesters screamed and fell back, shielding their eyes. Sparks flew. Energy surged like lightning, burning their suits and weapons. Even Dwayne fell to the ground. Stunned, back in the control room, Mia watched in awe. She's a storm. Lyra returned minutes later, her body shaking, but her eyes calm. It's done, she whispered. Mia hugged her tightly. You saved us. Lyra smiled, weak but proud. Now, let's fly. Mia returned to the cockpit and activated the launch code. The engines roared again, stronger this time. The ship rose into the air. From his prison cell, Jack watched the sky glow. A small voice echoed in his head. I'm safe. Thank you. Jack smiled, despite the pain. Fly, little star. Fly far. The old ship flew through the dark sky like a silent bird escaping a storm. Inside the cockpit, Mia sat in the pilot seat, her hands shaking slightly on the controls. She had never flown a ship alone before, but this time she had to. Like this was about more than just flying. It was about saving someone who didn't deserve to die. Beside her sat Lyra, the alien girl. Her glow had returned a little, flickering like a weak flame. She stared out the window at the stars, her eyes calm, but sad. Are we safe now? Lyra asked softly. Mia glanced at the radar. For now, but they'll come. They always do. Lyra nodded. Then I must show you something before they find us. Mia looked at her. What is it? Lyra placed her hand gently on Mia's forehead. In a second, Mia's eyes widened. She saw a vision. A bright world full of floating cities, glowing rivers, and peaceful alien people. Lyra's world, beautiful and full of life. The energy from their bodies powered everything naturally, without machines, without war. But then humans came. They didn't ask questions. They didn't try to understand. They brought weapons. They saw the glowing people as power sources, not living beings. The vision turned red. Fires, screams, explosions. Lyra's family being taken. Her planet torn apart. Huge factories boiling her people alive to power Earth's weapons and ships. Lyra's voice echoed inside Mia's mind. They promised peace, but they brought death. Peace. We called it research. We called it extinction. The vision faded. Mia sat frozen, tears falling from her eyes. Oh no, we did this, she whispered. Lyra nodded slowly. But they destroyed everything. I'm the last one. Mia looked away in shame. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Lyra smiled gently. You listened. That means more than you know. Back on Earth, deep in the military base, Jack sat in the dark cell, still bruised but breathing. Suddenly, his cell door opened. 2 guards entered and pulled him to his feet. The commander wants to see you, one said. Jack didn't fight. He just walked. They took him to a command room. Screens showed the sky, dots blinking, ships moving, radar scans. The commander stood tall. Your alien friend is flying an old cargo ship. She used her powers against the harvesters. That makes her a weapon, a threat. Jack stayed silent. We've sent drones to destroy her ship. Jack stepped forward. If you do that, you'll kill an innocent girl. She's not a girl. She's energy in a body. And we need that energy. Jack clenched his fists. You're monsters, Snow Soldier. The commander replied. We are survivors. And we do what's needed. In the sky, Lyra suddenly winced. She felt something. They're close, she said. I can feel them tracking us. Mia looked at the radar. 2 enemy drones. Fast ones. They'll reach us in minutes. Lyra stood up. Her body started to glow brighter. Then I will. Stop them. Mia blocked her way. No, you're still weak. Let me fight. You don't understand, Lyra said. Tear, they're not just following. They're locking on. They will shoot, and this ship will burn. And what can we do? Lyra closed her eyes. I can give you time, but I have to release the truth. Mia stared, confused. What truth? Lyra walked to the ship's center. She placed both hands on the metal wall. Her body lit up like a small sun. The light flowed through the ship, into the systems. Suddenly, every screen on Earth's military channel started blinking in the base. Jack watched as the big screen changed. Video files opened on their own. Images of Lyra's people. Peaceful, beautiful, screaming, dying, machines boiling them, soldiers cheering. Documents with words like energy extraction and authorized dissection. The truth broadcasted to the world, commanders shouted. Officers ran to cut the signal, but it was too late. It had gone global. News channels picked it up. Civilians started protesting. Scientists demanded answers. Back in the ship, Lyra collapsed into Mia's arms. Showed them, she whispered. Now maybe they'll see us. The drones were almost on them. Mia grabbed the controls. Hold on. The ship dove fast, dodging one missile. The second one hit but only on the wing. Sparks flew, but they stayed airborne, back at the base. The commander turned to Jack. Did you know she could do that? Jack smirked. She's not just light. She's the truth you tried to bury. Lyra opened her eyes. She was weak, but smiling. I'm ready now. Mia held her hand tightly. We'll keep fighting together. Above them, the stars watched in silence. But down below, the world had changed. The ship was damaged. Sparks flew from the ceiling. The right wing had taken a direct hit. Smoke filled the back hallway. Warning lights blinked all around. Mia coughed and waved away the smoke. She grabbed the control panel, trying to stabilize the ship. Come on, hold together, she whispered. Beside her, Lyra lay weak and pale. Her glow was dim. Her breathing was slow. Mia, she whispered, I can't keep going much longer. Mia turned to her and held her hand. Don't say that. You're going to make it. Just stay with me a little longer. Lyra gave a weak smile. You believed in me when no one else did. Thank you. Mia wiped a tear from her cheek. She looked at the radar. 2 more drones were coming fast. They had only minutes before another attack. Suddenly, the ship shook again. A panel burst open with a small fire. Mia shouted, We're going down. She turned the ship sharply, heading toward a green area on the map. There's a forest up ahead. Maybe we can land there. The engines roared as Mia fought to keep the ship steady. Trees came into view, tall, thick, and endless. Why? With one final push, the ship crashed through the branches and slammed into the earth. A loud boom echoed across the forest. Birds flew from trees. Smoke rose above the treetops, but the ship somehow held together. Inside, Mia slowly opened her eyes. Her head was bleeding slightly, but she was alive. She looked over. Lyra was unconscious, her body glowing faintly, barely. Lyra, please, wake up. Mia shook her gently. No response. She checked her pulse. Weak, fading. No, you can't die. Not now. Suddenly, Mia heard something outside. Voices, footsteps. She looked out the broken window. Soldiers, 3 of them, scanners in hand, weapons ready. They had found the crash site. Mia grabbed the emergency pistol. She looked back at Lyra. I won't let them take you. She slipped out of the side hatch and hid behind a tree. As the soldiers moved closer to the ship, he aimed carefully and fired. One soldier dropped. The others shouted and took cover. Mia fired again, forcing them to spread out. But she was outnumbered. Suddenly, she heard a new voice. Stand down. Mia. She turned. It was Dwayne. He looked tired, but his weapon was aimed at her. "It's over. Give her to us." Mia shouted back, "She's not a weapon. She's a living being. She's dangerous," he replied. "She broadcasted military secrets. She could destroy Earth's systems. She's dying," Mia cried, "and she trusted me. I won't betray her like you did, Jack." Dwayne flinched at Jack's name. A shadow of guilt crossed his face. He stepped closer. "Please, Mia, don't make me do this." Suddenly a strong blue light exploded from the ship. Everyone froze. Lyra stepped outside, her feet barely touching the ground. Her eyes glowed like twin stars. Her voice echoed, gentle but powerful. "Enough." The soldiers fell to their knees, stunned by the light. Dwayne dropped his weapon. I didn't know you were still alive." Lyra walked to him slowly. "You were afraid. That's why you hurt us. But fear is not strength." She turned to Mia. "Thank you for helping me escape. Okay, now I must go." "Where?" Mia asked. Lyra looked up to the stars. "There is still one hidden ship from my people. Far above, I will try to reach it." Mia's eyes filled with tears. "Will I see you again?" Lyra smiled. "You already have. You saw the real me. Not as fuel, not as power, but as a friend." She placed her glowing hand on Mia's chest. "Your heart is strong. Never forget who you are." Lyra closed her eyes, and her glow grew brighter and brighter until it covered the entire forest in light. The soldiers covered their faces, then dashed silence. When they looked again, Lyra was gone. Back at the base. Jack sat quietly in his cell, thinking about Lyra. The door opened slowly. Dwayne stepped inside. Jack stood up. "What now? Another lecture?" But Dwayne shook his head. "She escaped." Jack froze. "Lyra?" "Yes," Dwayne said. "She's gone. Into the stars, I think." Sat down, stunned. Dwayne placed something on the table. It was a glowing crystal, a small piece of Lyra's light. "She left this behind." Jack picked it up. It pulsed warmly in his hand. Dwayne sighed. "Everything's changing now." People saw the truth. Protests have started. Tasking. Questions. Command is scared. Jack smiled. "Good." Dwayne paused. "She forgave me." Jack looked at him. "Can you forgive yourself?" Dwayne had no answer. A few weeks had passed since Lyra vanished into the stars, but Earth was no longer the same. News of the truth had spread everywhere. Video recordings of alien torture, secret labs, and energy harvesting were leaked by Lyra's final broadcast. People marched in the streets. Cities filled with protests. Two new scientists, Kievan soldiers, began to speak out. One voice rose louder than all. Jack Carter. He had been released from prison after the government couldn't hide the truth anymore. But he wasn't interested in staying quiet. Standing in front of thousands of people, Jack raised Lyra's crystal in his hand. Its soft glow pulsed like a heartbeat. "She trusted me," he shouted, "and I failed her once. I won't fail her again." Crowds cheered, but the system was still strong. The commanders who ran the energy labs were silent. The politicians avoided questions. The Energy Council, the secret group behind the harvesters, was still active and angry. Jack knew they wouldn't go down without a fight. Meanwhile, in underground base, hidden from satellites and scanners, the council met in shadows. "People are turning against us," one voice said. "'Cause of one alien," said another. "No," a third replied. "'Cause of one human, Jack Carter." They all went quiet. He must be removed. Back in a quiet mountain cabin, Jack, Mia, and a few others prepared for their final move. They had formed a resistance, small but brave. Many were former soldiers who had seen the truth. Others were engineers and hackers. "The council servers are hidden inside Titan Station," Mia explained. If we can break in and upload Lyra's full memory logs, it will expose everything forever. Jack nodded. We bring them down. But the station was guarded. Like a fortress. The team had one chance. 2 days later, under cover of night, Jack's team landed near the base of the snowy mountain where Titan Station stood. The wind howled. Snow fell fast. Jack looked up at the bright metal tower that rose into the clouds. "This is it," he said. "We finish what Lyra started." They split into teams. Jack and Mia took the main entrance. Others went through side tunnels and vents. Explosives were placed, cameras disabled, codes hacked. The resistance moved like ghosts. Inside the control room, alarms suddenly blared. Council guards rushed in. Red lights flashed. "We've been breached." Someone shouted. Jack kicked open the door and fired a warning shot. Nobody moved. He walked in slowly, holding Lyra's crystal. "This ends now." A council leader stood tall. "You think you can change the system alone?" Jack stepped forward. "I'm not alone. The world is watching now." He threw the crystal to Mia, who plugged it into the main terminal. Light filled the room as files opened images, names, experiments, commands. Everything the council had ever done. The building shook with tension. "Upload complete," Mia whispered. Jack turned to the guards. "Stand down. It's over." Some lowered their weapons. Others ran. The council leader reached for a gun, but Jack moved faster. A single shot. Silence. The next morning, the world changed. All major networks played the broadcast. Billions saw the truth, raw and painful. Earth was forced to look in the mirror. The Energy Council fell. Its members arrested or vanished. The alien energy program was shut down. New peace talks began this time. Riel and Jack. He didn't disappear. He stood in front of Earth's united court and spoke clearly. "We were wrong. Forgot what it means to be human." But one alien girl reminded us. She glowed with light, hand with the truth. "I fight not to be a hero. I fight because I promised her." Months later, a small light appeared in Earth's orbit. A ship. Inside was Lyra. She had healed. And she had returned, not as a victim, but as a voice of peace. She stepped onto Earth's soil. And the world stood still. Jack was there, waiting. She smiled at him. "You kept your promise." He smiled back. "You kept the stars burning." The system tried to control her, but one human chose to protect her. And together, they changed the world. The end.